Yeah, what's good, y'all? Yeah, so like I was saying last night about the dreams or whatnot, I know it seemed like I was about to get into this real deep story about this experience and all that, but that's not where I was really going with it. I know it started off like that, but that's what it sounded like. But what I was trying to share with you guys was, after I watched those videos, like I said, I watched about 8 or 9 videos on the topic, and I didn't even know it was an actual thing, with the dreams or whatnot when you stop smoking. Well, a couple of the videos just pointed out some things to me that, that was kind of interesting, Like I said, on one video, the guy went, into real scientific stuff about, when you're smoking, you're not really in a deep sleep. You're not getting what they call REM sleep. And another video I was watching, this one guy, he went to getting into the talking about how sometimes you may be stressed out, or you had a long day, or you got into an argument with someone, your spouse or whoever it may be, and you're like, you know what, forget this, I'm just gonna go smoke me one. And like they say, you inhale and exhale all the problems. But he went into detail saying about, that's not always the case, really. So let's say you get into an argument with someone, whatever the situation may be, and you just, you don't resolve the issue. Basically, you just go and you smoke you a joint or something, and in your mind you're just thinking like, okay, yeah, I smoke, I'm not thinking about it, the problem solved, and that's that. But that's not always really the case. What the guy was basically explaining was, basically, it's like, how can I put it? It's like the problem is not resolved. So by you smoking and you're not thinking about it at the moment, it just goes deeper into your subconscious mind, in a sense. You get what I'm saying? So the problem's not resolved, but it's kind of tucked away. It's like kind of like cleaning, but sweeping all the dirt under the rug, So everything may look clean, but but there's still dust and everything built up that you really just can't see. So he went into getting into detail about, because a lot of us, we deal with whatever. I don't like to get into the whole, trauma and all that type of talk. I try to stay away from that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because one, is depressing, and two, some people, they just use this stuff for like gimmicks and stuff, just to make content, whatever the case may be. Now, I'm not saying some of us are not really dealing with real trauma and things like that, but I just feel those are like buzzwords now, and everybody's just throwing the whole mental health thing around and just whatever. But the one video that I watched where the guy was going into detail about that, it made plenty of sense to me, because a lot of the time we really don't deal with the issues we go through. You get what I'm saying? We'll just smoke and forget about it, and then we start doing something else. Then we go to sleep. Then another day comes, and whatever we'll do. So it becomes a pattern where we're not really resolving these issues. We're just smoking them and forgetting about them. But the mind is so powerful, you don't really forget anything. It's just, you forget for that moment. So the more I dove into those videos, the more interesting it got. And I was just liking the information I was getting from a lot of these videos. And like I told you on the last video, when I went to talking to my homie about it, and I realized he was experiencing the same thing. So, it just had me thinking, like, how many of us are really dealing with these issues, but we're just tucking them to the side and not really dealing with them. And so after I watched those videos, my plan was to make a whole video about it, like, what I'm doing right now. But when I went to go make the video, I drove down to Pompano, and before I could even make it to the spot to go record the video, I stopped over at my cousin's house, because, I've been gone for a while. And whenever I get back in town, I stop by there, see them, holler at them, get my truck washed, whatever the case may be, right? So when I pulled up there, I went to talking to one of my cousins, and we were just talking about a whole bunch of things, different things. And of course, that conversation came up. And like I told you, one of my homies, when I was riding, so I'm telling them about the same story, like about me and my homie riding, and I told him about it. So as I'm telling another like friend of mine about the same thing, he's like, yo, like, I experienced the same thing. Woo-de-woo. So I just found that amazing that, there's a lot of people that was experiencing the same thing, but they weren't really elaborating on it or talking about it. So I decided to just make a video on it. And to be clear, me making this video is not me trying to convince you to stop smoking, or I'm trying to tell you to go resolve your deep trauma or none of that. Like that's not my place to tell you what to do or how to do it. I just wanted to make a video about it because I found it interesting, because it was something I didn't even know about. And when I looked into it, the information that I was coming across was interesting. So I decided to make a video and just talk about it, you know. But what I really want to do though is have a couple homies and have a sit down and talk about it and go into the whole thing. But right now I'm currently on the road. Where am I right now? I'm currently in Baltimore. So I'm running up to Boston. I got to take care of a few things, but when I get back, that's another thing I wanted to touch on was, ironic enough, even when I posted the last clip I made about this whole weed smoking video, when I posted it, a couple, like 2-3 people was like, see, and this is the reason why you need to bring the show back. We miss you guys talking this, that. I got a couple of those messages and I wanted to address that. I don't want to keep making videos saying, oh yeah, we're coming back. Stay tuned, wait for it, and blah, 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 you know. While I do want to bring the show back, you know, sometimes I feel guilty because I'll start something and people get into it, but then my schedule gets hectic and crazy and I just kind of put it on the back burner. Those are not my intentions, you know. That's just how things work out sometimes. You get what I'm saying? The past year was a lot for me, you know. One, I was in a serious accident, but I chose not to really share all the information. Family and certain people knew, but I didn't, you know, it's not my thing to post every single thing with my life. You guys should know that by now. I give you little bits and pieces, but that was one thing. And I had also just had a son, my very first child. So, you know, I was trying to focus a lot of my attention to that because one, I get on the road a lot and it's not like I'm home all day, every day. So whenever I do get home, the last thing on my mind is, let me get in front of the camera and create content or this and that. I wanted to spend, you know, quality time with my family, my son, and because, you know, these are important years, you know what I'm saying? So I want them to really be familiar with me and know me and, you know, things like that. But I get so many messages about, you know, creating content about the podcast and things like that. And my co-host E-Class, he's always showing me messages of people saying, what happened to the show, blah, blah, blah. So long story short, a lot of people, I guess, was interested in what we were doing and the topics we were bringing up and you know, just everything we had going on. And my whole thing with that podcast was just basically the time that we came into with that whole pandemic and everything that was going on. These a lot of the things that were taking place, or like things I was reading into way before, watching videos on way before, so I was privy to certain things. And my whole thing with that wasn't to try to create some show and do crazy numbers and whoop-de-whoop-de. That's never my intention. I just like to speak what's on my heart, share information. And again, like I said earlier in the video, I'm not trying to persuade nobody to live a certain way, or, you know what I'm saying? My whole thing is just to be me, do what I do, maintain, survive, and, you know, just take care of what I got to take care of. But I realized that, you know, that I guess us doing the podcast or whatever, it was helping certain people. They enjoyed the conversation. We used to have people call in and speak their mind. So I guess when I get back in town, I'm going to try to put some things back in motion. Because I've had people offer me to come to our studio, record here and do this and do that. And I just kind of, you know, that's just like my attitude. But that's a story for another time, because I get in my way a lot when it comes to different things and different ventures. But I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes I get in my way for a reason. I mean, I like to socialize and whatever, but I enjoy my peace more than anything, my quiet time, and like I said, time with my family and things of that nature. You know, that's what I'm really into, especially now, because this is new to me. So I don't mean to ramble on with the video. I just wanted to elaborate more on the whole dream thing. But once I turned the camera on, I forgot the key points I was going to make. But I mean, you guys could look this stuff up yourself, you know. And again, like I was saying, I'm not trying to get you to stop smoking. Even me myself, I'm not saying, oh, I'm not smoking weed no more, this is that. But I like to do things in moderation, you know. And just me being on the road so much, I was just smoking so heavy, because usually I'll take a couple months off throughout the year and just not smoke and this and that. But I'll be on the road and I'm usually by myself, so it's just me, my radio, and I'll just be smoking. I'll smoke, eat, smoke, eat, you know, you know the routine. A lot of you guys do the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So, but basically my whole thing is, we will be bringing the show back. We're still gonna do the lives. I'm still gonna interview people and do all this stuff that I was doing, you know, because clearly people enjoy it. And so yeah, I just wanted to touch base with that, man. I'll elaborate more on that, on the whole dream thing later on. Like I said, I want to have a group of people sit down, because clearly quite a few people have experienced that whole thing about when you stop smoking, you start having these dreams or whatnot. And like I said, they're not nightmares, but back to what homie was saying about like when you have issues that you don't resolve, you don't deal with, that's what some of the dreams were about, you know. Even like I was just mentioning about the podcast and putting it on the back burner, I would have dreams about that, and I would have dreams with, like, you know, relations I had with people in the past, and you know, whether it was women you dealt with or friendships or whatever. It's just a lot of different things pop up in your dreams, and they're very like unique dreams. It's like, it's of course, you know, like most dreams be weird, but it's just, I guess because I haven't been dreaming in so long, and everything just seems so wild to me, man. But anyways, this video went on way longer than I expected it to, but yeah, like I was saying, hopefully you'll be seeing more of me. You know, I kind of enjoy doing these little videos in the car or whatever. E-Class been on my ass saying, bro, let's just set up in the car and do it. But I'm like, no, man, we got to set up, plug in the Rodecaster and this, that. You know, but time, it is what it is. But yeah, we're definitely going to be bringing you guys more content. And I appreciate everybody that supported us while we were doing it, that tapped in, had conversations with us, whatever the case may be. So yeah, just look forward to that. And I be wanting to share some content with you guys when I'm out here on the road and show you guys what I'm doing. But I don't like setting up this camera all the time. I guess I'll just start recording some stuff with my phone like I'm doing now. But, you know, being a photographer, videographer, I like quality content. I like my sound to be right. I like the visuals to be right. So, yeah, I'll see, man. It's a new year. I'll try to give you guys more content or whatever the case may be. But in the meantime, y'all be safe out there, man. Peace. I'll see y'all when I get back to the new year, man. Love.